The enhancement plan was developed in 2014 following a comprehensive review of the golf course and a thorough analysis of the needs of the membership. Bill and I worked closely with a committee that was formed to participate in the enhancement planning process. The committee included Kevin, Andy, the general manager, representatives of the Green Committee and board, and several members that collectively represented a diverse cross-section of the membership. There were older players and younger players, male and female players, low handicap and high handicap, new members, as well as members that have been at La Rinconada for multiple decades. In addition to the enhancement planning committee, we also issued a brief questionnaire to the overall membership. It asked a few basic questions such as, what are the strengths of the golf course? What are the weaknesses? What would you like to change? What are the specific features that should be reviewed for improvement? The results of the questionnaires were tallied and analyzed to get a sense of the opinions of the members. We actually received an uncommonly large amount of responses, which was great. This information, along with input from the Enhancement Planning Committee, provided Bill and I the local knowledge necessary that, when combined with our design expertise and experience, allows for a successful team effort that yields beneficial recommendations designed to provide a long-term guide for the club. The primary reasons for going through the enhancement planning process are to meet the changing needs of the members, improve playing conditions, and to remain competitive with other clubs. Right now, La Rinconada is very competitive and is fortunate to have a waiting list, but that needs to be built upon, strengthened, and reinforced for the long term. You are also very fortunate to have Kevin, who keeps the golf course in outstanding shape. But a big reason for renovating the golf course is to create golf features that are constructed with modern methodologies, which allows your superintendent to effectively maintain them without utilizing excessive resources. Those resources can then be applied to tending to other areas of the golf course. The installation of a permanent bunker liner, for instance, can save considerable time for the maintenance staff when working to recover from a rain event, which allows the bunkers to be back in place sooner. La Rinconada is very fortunate in that the inherent character of the site is very interesting and dynamic, which is another way of saying the things that we cannot change with a bulldozer or any amount of money are already nicely in place at the club. The weaknesses of the golf course, with the exception of not being able to incorporate a par 5 into the front nine or significantly lengthening the course, which both are not possible due to property constraints, are otherwise easily correctable because the improvements involve common reconstruction and enhancement of golf features. The enhancement plan makes recommendations for rebuilding the greens to create more consistent, playable, and enjoyable putting surfaces and green complexes, as well as making recommendations for enlarging all of the tee complexes and redesigning the sand bunkers. But an overwhelming majority of the comments regarding the weaknesses of the golf course had to do with the practice facilities and water features. The club has already successfully improved and modernized the practice facilities and the water feature at hole number 11 back in 2016. The next project that has been prioritized is the reconstruction of the water feature at hole numbers 14 and 15. Here is a before picture of hole 11 to refresh your memory as to what the old tees were like, as well as a current view of the hole. The forward tees were largely unutilized and significantly obstructed your view of the pond. The tees were redesigned, expanded, and blended more naturally into the hillside. Likewise with the new tees that were built at hole number 1 and the proposed improvements to the tee complexes at holes 14, 15, and 18, the objectives of tee renovation are to increase the length and width of the tees to create more diverse teeing area for placement of the markers. In addition, we always want to ensure there are adequately sized middle and forward teeing areas that are properly located to provide an appropriate challenge, particularly for women, seniors, and junior players. This image shows a closer shot of the stone wall that was added around the pond at hole number 11. The new walls that will be around hole 14 green and the reconfigured tees at hole 15 will be very similar in character. The new pond at 14 and 15 will have the added benefit of being able to maintain a consistent water level because it won't be used for irrigation. This portion of the enhancement plan illustrates the scope of work to be completed later this year. Hole 14 tee complex and the shared tee complex by holes 15 and 18 would be reconfigured and enlarged to generate additional teeing area and make better use of the available space. Similar to the new tee complexes that were redesigned and rebuilt at hole number 1 and 11, the objective is to maximize the diversity for marker placement. But the real focus of this project is the reconfiguration and enlargement of the lake in conjunction with the redesign of hole 14 green. The way the hole plays now is very one-dimensional. Regardless of what level of player you are likely to play the hole the same way every time. The theory behind the design of the new 14th hole is to build more diversity and challenge and strategy into the hole, so that players will need to think about what they do on the tee that particular day depending on where the markers and where the pin are. The fairway short of the sand bunker will remain generous and wide. However, the large sand bunker that currently separates the pond from the golf hole will be eliminated, and the pond will be enlarged significantly, which will bring the water much more into play, which places a higher premium on tee shots as well as for approach shots. By enlarging the pond, the water will become much more visible from both the tees and the fairway, which will greatly enhance the drama of the hole. Currently, there is no incentive for hitting anything more than an iron off the tee because the approach shot from back in the wide part of the fairway, well short of the landing area, is very straightforward and not very challenging to the existing green. The new putting surface would be more narrow in depth from back in the fairway, but will be more welcoming from the narrower part of the fairway, thus putting a much higher value on an advantage on hitting a longer club or even driver off the tee. The two fairway bunkers on the right side of hole 14 would be redesigned and combined into one bunker. A stream channel with waterfalls and cascades would be added between the two fairways, which will increase the drama of the holes, as well as potentially increase the penalty for earned shots. A new small fairway bunker would be added on the right side to pinch the fairway down and help reinforce the challenge of position A. Another feature of the new design involves recovery shots hit through the green or right of the green. Players will face the challenge of chipping or pitching to a putting surface sloping away from them towards the pond, but now there would be no bunker there to catch the ball. It's always interesting to see bunkers between water features and golf features, especially between putting surfaces and bodies of water, because the bunker largely cancels out the value and drama of the penal challenge that water inherently adds to a golf hole. The reconfiguration of the shared tees at 15 and 18 places an emphasis on increasing the middle and forward teeing areas, as well as improving golf car circulation, foot traffic access on and off the tees. In conjunction with the new stream channel along the left side of the tee shot, the pond would be enlarged slightly in front of 15 tees to further enhance the drama of the hole. As you will notice from this current photo of the 14th hole, the amount of the pond that is visible from the fairway is minimal. By eliminating the bunker and enlarging the pond back towards the tees, and by rebuilding the green so that it is more integrated into the pond, which you will see on the next slide, the water will be much more visible and much more in play as an integral feature of the hole. This will in turn significantly increase the number of options a player faces while standing on the tee, and will also greatly enhance the drama of the 14th hole. This is a rendering that shows the basic vision for hole 14, as well as the design concept for hole numbers 15 and 18 tees. The purpose of this is to give you a general sense of the design, but please take it with a grain of salt because it certainly does not do justice for what the final product will look like. And we did take a few artistic liberties in order to show more of the design concept. For instance, the redwood trees that will be preserved between the two holes will not ultimately be pruned that high. This was done to illustrate more of the tees at 15 and 18 and the value of incorporating the stone walls around those tees. Also, the tree that's currently overhanging the two bunkers on the right side of 14 fairway will not in fact be cut down. It just blocked too much of the green complex, so I just took it out of the drawing. This illustration provides a good sense of the various ways to play the hole, a feel for the new water feature, and the improved visibility of the water, as well as the increased drama and the quote-unquote wow factor the new design will provide. After completion of the project at holes 14 and 15, the next project on the list of priorities is reconstruction of hole 4 green complex. Reconstruction of this green has always been one of the top priorities due to the nature of the contour of the putting surface. This is a very long par 4, and as every member knows, the green does not hold those long approach shots. However, recently, because the homeowner decided to take it upon himself to cut down all of those trees that were screening his house, it has moved up the priority list a little bit and will be completed in fall of 2020. To explain briefly the redesign of hole number 4, beginning at the tees, the existing back and middle tees would be enlarged and combined into one tee to significantly increase the teeing area. The existing forward tee would be rebuilt and enlarged in place, and a new alternate forward tee would be added further down the hole to allow the hole to be played as a par 4 for all players. 2 fairway bunkers would be added to enhance the strategy, challenge, and aesthetics of the hole. The new bunker on the left side of the fairway would challenge the better players who are attempting to reach the ideal landing area within the higher ground along the left side of the hole, which provides the best visibility and approach angle to the green. Currently, I think we can all agree there are no good angles into this particular putting surface, but that is one of the primary objectives for the redesign. The new fairway bunker to the right of the landing area would be largely out of play for most players. However, it will help define the target for tee shots and enhance the character and aesthetics of the hole, and specifically the broad hillside along the right side of the hole. In the future, the low-lying area of the fairway will be graded and raised slightly to improve the visibility to the green. However, that would not happen as part of next year's project, but rather would occur a few years down the road when the irrigation system is replaced. The green complex would be reconstructed, elevated slightly, and shifted back and to the right to create additional area between the green and the house to allow for adequate planting of replacement trees to screen the house. The putting surface would be contoured appropriately to be visible and accommodate long approach shots. The green would be protected in the front by a small bunker and will roll off into low-mo chipping area in the back. The abrupt mounting to the right of the approach and around the existing green would be softened or eliminated to expose the off-site views and create a more natural character for the hole. During the enhancement printing process, it was discovered that the club actually owns the property immediately to the right of the green beyond the fence. This affords the opportunity for the new green complex to encroach slightly on the hillside, which will enhance the drama for approach shots, as well as direct players' attention away from the house and toward the good views off-site to the adjacent hills. A portion of the fence would be removed and a large bunker would be constructed and depressed down low to the right of the green, which will help contain errant shots and reinforce the challenge and drama of the hole. One of Kevin's ongoing projects at the club has been selectively removing the understory trees and thinning the vegetation along the right side of holes 3 and 4. The purpose of this is to expose the myriad live oak trees that exist beyond the edge of the club property, as well as to open up off-site views, where appropriate, to the attractive adjacent landscape. In addition to the fourth hole, a few tee complexes would also be renovated next year, including the tees at number 5 and the forward tees at 10. In addition to the reconstruction of the forward tees at hole number 10, a large fairway bunker would be added along the right side to enhance the character of the hole and help contain errant shots. In this existing photo, you can see the progress Kevin has made over the past few years, slowly and systematically removing some of the invasive vegetation in the ravine that is in front of the tees and adjacent to the pool area, which has opened up good visibility to more of the hole and greatly enhanced the aesthetics of the ravine. Ultimately, the goal is to convert the ravine in front of the tees into a pond and relocate the entrance road slightly to alleviate the conflict with the tees. However, this requires further investigation, and therefore the construction of the new back and middle tees would occur at a later time. The purposes for adding the fairway bunker are first, to increase the strategy and challenge for tee shots and build more risk-reward into the tee shot. Second, to contain errant shots that may otherwise roll down into the ravine or future pond, or down towards the pond at hole number 11. And third, to improve the character, aesthetics, and drama of the golf hole. The green complex would be reconstructed and shifted back about 40 yards to increase the length of the hole. There is not much available ground at La Rinconada to accommodate lengthening of the course. However, hole 10 presents the best opportunity to gain some extra yards on the scorecard.